Hello.
Hello, Andre.
Hi, Shannon. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. It's the 60th episode. Ah! Oh my
It's
god.
elderly. We're
So many
elderly now.
episodes. It is. We are seniors. I mean, we've been seniors since the 50th episode. I think technically that's how that works. But boy, are we old now. 60 episodes. It's also your last episode.
It's true. It is because I am now 60 and I'm dipping out. You know, it's just how life works. Some of us don't make it that long. Um
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I'm excited for us to really just tie up all the loose ends we've all been wondering this whole time. Is Andre really a robot? Yes, for sure. Who am I really, and why do I look like Miranda Cosgrove? It's a great question, and we might have the answers
I'm
by
glad
the
we're
end.
finally gonna get answers to all these questions.
I'm glad too. I think the listeners are glad as well.
Also, where does Mr. Z live right now? Have we met the Mothman? And are you really married and have 3 kids and live in Connecticut? We don't know that.
I'm actually
So-
45. I think that's been established before in the past, because I don't know what a TikTok is. Um, Speaking of Z Boy,
Yeah, she sounds young, but really, she's having a midlife crisis right now. She's up there.
can someone really sound young though? Like, is that like? Can you tell by their voice?
I mean, I think you can definitely tell if someone is youthful by their voice because a youthful voice means a youthful person. Does that mean they're young? Not necessarily. J-Lo has a youthful voice when she speaks, but she's 50, so...
Yeah.
But she is youth. She's youthful. I mean, she's very jovial, so I guess it is a good indicator. You're full of life, Shannon, but you are still 45 years old, so...
Well, now that we've cleared that up, there is something I wanted to do as my last foray. I actually convinced Andre that this was a good idea because it's been so long that nothing has actually happened. So I sent Andre this audio clip that we'll insert here, of our Ouija board episode, and this happened while we were talking about Zozo the demon and how he will crawl straight up your ass. And
Yes.
okay, so we'll just insert it here.
Pronounce its name, as I believe the mere pronunciation of it can cause it to manifest itself. Shannon, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm just listening.
That's fucking creepy, dude. I just got static.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I never get static, ever.
Well, maybe Zozo has entered me.
You should fuck off. Okay, I'm gonna make a note. 23. So, hi everyone. We never get static, and we just got static. Fucking shit. So, okay, again. He says, today I refuse to even pronounce its name as I...
Okay, so
So, that's the audio.
that's the audio, and I didn't hear the static at all. Like, I didn't hear it until I was editing, and I was like, oh, so that actually did happen, which is kind of weird because when something like that happens, it doesn't actually record it. So I was like, Andre, like,
Yeah.
the demon is real. Like, oh, he's coming for you. So I am glad that we've reached a point where we can all just share that and possibly let a demon loose into all of your lives without feeling guilty about it. Yeah, what do you think, Andre?
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm glad he'll now be sleeping with me. This is fun. This is super fun, everyone. No. In all seriousness, that was pretty spooky when it happened, and it was spookier hearing that Shannon could not hear it on her end. I thought that was pretty bizarre, and just the fact that it happened while we were talking. I think in the clip, yeah, I'm talking about saying his name, like, oh, you shouldn't say his name, or like people usually, or something like that. And then you can hear the sound. Like, it's a very short clip, so you can't really tell what I'm talking about immediately before the sound. But I think that's what I was talking about. So that is pretty spooky. And if anything, it shouldn't have happened to me. It should have happened to you, because you were the one that was saying his name. So
Right, but he knew that I was like chill and like whatever, you know? He wasn't
I
coming
guess
for me.
he smells fear. He's like a Rottweiler.
Right. Exactly.
Well, Z Boy, Mr. Z. Hope you've enjoyed these 60 episodes. I'm sure he is a fan, and I'm sure he's been listening even before the episode we talked about him. So I'm
true.
just hoping he's enjoyed the past 60 hours of content. So here's to you, Mr. C. We raise a glass. Thank you for accompanying us in this journey. Now, what are we talking about today, Shannon?
That's a great question. We're gonna talk a lot about a lot of horse shit. As per usual. This episode is totally just us dicking around. Because I mean, we talk about how we don't believe in this stuff, but like I really, really don't believe in the stuff I'm talking about today. We're doing a deep dive into.
Well, speak for yourself.
You believe?
I don't know
this?
what conspiracies you're going to talk about, so I might believe some of them.
Oh my
Also,
God.
the stuff that I'm talking about, listen, it's not completely out of the question, and you'll see why when I talk about it.
Well,
So, just saying.
I mean, I chose some that were pretty ridiculous, but if they're not, well, we've all been fooled. So we're talking about.
Listen, Elvis is alive, and he is living in Hawaii, so
You
just shut up.
spoiled it. Celebrity conspiracy theories. Anything related to anything celebrities do or say or have done in the past. Yeah, because why not? You know, we're all aware of them. We all kind of hate them while simultaneously kind of loving them. It's a fun time.
Yes, and we all know that this is just an excuse for me to talk about Britney Spears for 15 minutes, so here we go.
Oh my
Timer
God.
on.
I
So,
swear to God,
Britney
Andre.
Spears was born in... No, I'm kidding.
We already had like so many discussions about how Britney Spears' Britney Jean is not actually Britney singing. So I was like, please do not bring that to the
It's
table
not!
again.
It's not, though. Reminder, everyone. Britney Spears' 2013 album, Britney Jean, was not sung by her. So, there's that.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the topic at hand. So, I'm going to be focusing on deals with the devil. And so... that's what I'm doing. And Shannon will be focusing on more contemporary conspiracy theories. I mean, it's all kind of related. Again, it's just famous people who have done things for fame. In my case, signed their name on blood. But it's also related. So, Shannon, would you like to start us off with one of your conspiracy theories, please? I think we could take turns.
Sure, but I have a very serious question for you that I think the audience is dying to know.
Yes.
Have you, or do you plan on selling your soul to the devil in the future at any point, Andre?
Have I? No. Do I plan on it? I mean, it's not written down. But neither is my trip to Australia next year, and I'm really hoping that will happen. So you never know what could happen.
Okay, well, I think that we got our answer. So we're just
Listen,
gonna
I think
say
if this
eventually.
podcast gets big enough that I think if this podcast really takes off and becomes big enough and I become so rich from it that I become afraid to lose it, then I'll definitely do anything to keep that fame and power and money. So you never know. You never know.
Well, it's good to know that, you're the type of person who caves under the weight of rich and fame, I guess. Damn, Andre.
Listen, we're all little sellouts deep down, and we know it, and that's okay. It's just that we all have different prices. For me, it's $1.5 million. For you, a boyfriend. So I'm just saying, there's always a price. Now, no, wouldn't it be like funny and sad if like the podcast like took off like crazy, like starting next episode, if I like decide to continue, like if it goes to like the top of the iTunes chart and you're
That would be iconic, honestly, and I would listen to every episode.
Listen, if I ever got an award for it, I'd be like, thank you to my first co-host. You'll always be in my heart.
Oh my God.
But now we're gonna welcome my new co-host to the stage. Oh my God, who would it be? Would it be someone fucking outrageous?
What if it would be the Mothman?
Al Gore. No, he's not available. He's too busy terrorizing West Virginia. But Al Gore would do it. I mean, what is he doing nowadays? Saving the whales? I don't think so. Okay. So.
Okay.
You start us off.
Well, in all seriousness, I'm starting with Britney Spears. But we're not talking Britney Jean, okay? We're talking government conspiracies because that's what's up, yo. And I do want to clarify, I was saying, did I do research into this? No, I didn't, because I've seen this a lot, and so I feel like I can just talk about it. And to be honest, who actually believes this? So, what are we talking about? We're talking about Britney Spears and the Bush administration. Okay, if you haven't heard about this, I don't know where you've been. So basically, we all know about Britney Spears' meltdown in 2007 when she shaves her head. We know about Britney and her umbrella. And you know what, Brit? Like, we all get it now as adults. Like, shit, I am so close to doing that. You have no idea. So here is the conspiracy theory. So the theory is that the Bush administration was paying Britney Spears to have this crazy, crazy meltdown in order to distract everyone. Basically, you're controlling the media. You're distracting from what's happening in the White House. So that's the theory, right? Is Britney just went completely insane because they were trying to distract from what was going on in the United States government. There is also a theory that ties into this that apparently Britney was sleeping with a Bush White House advisor in 2002, Karl Rove, which would explain how they would have, been able to get to Britney. There's no evidence of this, but apparently some detectives said that this was what was happening and they knew about it. So there's not really a lot of proof to back this up, but it wouldn't, for me, personally, it sounds ridiculous, but I don't believe this one because, I fully stand Britney Spears, and I do think that she had her reasons for that. I don't think it had anything to do with Bush, but the media has, in the past, used celebrity headlines to hide a lot of shady shit going on in the world, and that's just a fact. The Kardashians, all sorts of shit with the Kardashians. They distracted from all kinds of things going on in the Middle East, all kinds of just nuts and wild shit. So do I think the government's doing
I'm
this?
not saying that Britney Spears was used by the Bush administration at a time when it was sinking as a smoke curtain, but I am saying that Britney Spears and Kevin Federline did announce their split the day before a key midterm election in November of 2007. So
did you just
saying.
pull that fact straight out of your memory banks?
Yeah, no, I remember that. It was November 2007.
Damn.
There was gonna be a midterm election. The day before the election, I don't know what day it was. They broke up and they announced it. So just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
No, see, that's something I'd seen too, is that they had broken up. I didn't realize it was at such an important date in time. Are we being?
It was the day the Earth stopped.
We're being woke right now. Okay, well, here's the thing. I have another conspiracy theory for you, which kind of ties into the last one. And I don't know where I fall on this, because I'm not a fan of this person. So here's the theory. Miley Cyrus was an instrument of the Obama administration. So...
Okay.
The theory is that Miley's album Bangers and all of that crazy behavior that she was performing, the Robin Thicke dance, the Wrecking Ball music video, kind of when she took away from her normal Hannah Montana stuff and started to branch out into more of a wild aesthetic. That was when the Obama administration was like, look, we need another distraction just like Britney Spears in the Bush administration. Miley Cyrus is really cool and hip right now. Let's have her just stick her tongue out in every possible photo ever. So I'm not entirely sure what the Obama administration was up to in this case. I don't know. The theory is that they were distracting the Americans as they were doing shady things, which we all know the government, in theory is doing shady things all the time. I feel like there's less weight on this one, though, because Miley Cyrus just seems completely off the rails sometimes. I don't even think that there's a good reason for her breakdowns, whereas with Britney, it's okay, I can see that. What are your thoughts?
Of course there is. She was pressured into being this perfect little cookie cutter blonde with her Hannah Montana character for too long, and she was growing up, and she wanted to break free from her Disney chains. What are you talking about?
That's so much money. Why is she allowed to complain about getting that much money and attention? I don't understand.
I mean, she's not complaining. She's just going crazy for your entertainment, which, it's a win-win. She gets to break free, and you get to be entertained.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. And then to build on to that, my next conspiracy theory is that And, you know, I always feel kind of awkward bringing up this corporation because I feel like at this point, they can have anyone they want killed. It's Disney, everyone. Here is the theory. Miley Cyrus was actually murdered by Disney. So, and when I say that, I mean the corporation, not Walt Disney, who we know is cryogenically frozen to be iced off in the future. So, here's the idea. When Hannah Montana ended, Miley released the song Can't Be Tamed. On one theory, which Andre just said, it was her way of growing up and breaking free from that image. But what if she was actually killed and replaced with a clone? And that clone did not give a shit about that image. She was like an evil clone. And so Miley was murdered because, this is the ridiculous theory, because she refused to participate in an orgy with Disney.
Well, you know, the Britney Spears theory seemed far-fetched, but honestly, I'm kind of on board with this one. I mean, makes sense, you know. Disney has the people, the hitmen, and Miley was stepping out of line. So, I mean, what would you do if you were a multi-billion dollar international conglomerate? Would you let this young girl ruin your company's image? No, you do your best to do, you know, damage control. Did it fail terribly? Yes, because bangers. But they tried, and they thought they'd be successful.
Well, it also raises some interesting questions about if she was a botch clone. Why do they get so botched that they release albums like bangers? Like, what is the cause and effect there?
Excuse me, ma'am. Bangers is pretty self-explanatory title, actually. It's full of fucking bangers. It's an iconic album. It was a moment in history. Bangers was the cultural reset. So you can go suck a toe, okay?
Oh my god! Are you serious? Are you really gonna...
I'm serious! I'm serious! Okay, it has We Can't Stop. It has Adore You. It has SMS... parentheses bangers with Britney Spears. What are you talking about? It's the album, dude.
All I know is one time I tried to listen to it, and I think that I got like an instant migraine and started to cry. But okay. So
you know what? I just think we're forgetting that I'm forgetting that you're 45, so I have to be a little more understanding. So
it's
you're
true.
Right.
It's true. You have to understand. I'm coming from a different era. All right. Do you want to tell me about your deals with the devil now? We can switch off.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. So these are super random. I mean, not random, but you've never heard of any of these people. But they were celebrities in their time, so it's definitely connected to this. But I mean, they're like old. So first, a little bit of background for those of you that don't know what a deal with the devil is. It's, well, because you haven't had one like most of us. But deal with the devil, also known as a pact with the devil, is a cultural motif in European folklore. That's the technical description. The real one is what you do when you get real powerful and famous and rich, and you want to keep all that wealth and fame and power. That's what a deal with the devil is. And so many modern celebrities have done it. Could I find articles about it? No, which is why I'm talking about 18th century musicians. But trust me, they've all done it. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Miley, all up there. Selena Gomez, for sure. That bitch does not have a soul. Just saying. Selena, if you're listening, which you're not, we love you, we stand. But, I mean, girl, move. You're on the stage, dance, move. You're like a stick. You're just stiff. Anyway, I'm sorry. We love you, Selena. Okay. Selenators, don't come for me. So, first deal with the devil I want to talk about is in the early 1930s, there was this young African-American musician in the deep south of the U.S. His name was Robert Johnson, and at the time, Johnson's wife was pregnant, but her and the baby died in childbirth. So Robert was really sad, and he didn't know what to do. So he decided to leave town for some time, and upon his return, he was a changed man. People noted that all of a sudden he could play guitar really well, like a seasoned musician, whereas before he was a musician, but a very struggling one. But all of a sudden he could play really well, and his voice was like silky smooth, and he was amazing basically. And the locals were like, ooh, and they were like, oh, he must have had a deal with the devil during his trip, and sold his soul in exchange for becoming a better musician, which that's the obvious logical conclusion.
How do you get to
did
that?
Did he go away for a month and practice like crazy? No, he sold his soul. So, this actually happened. Okay, so this is really interesting. So Robert Johnson has a song called Crossroads, and a lot of people attribute this to him writing the song after selling his soul, because the legend is that he sold his soul at a crossroads in a town called Clarksdale. The crossroads are the crossing between Highway 61 and Highway 49. I will not tell you what U.S. state this is in because I totally did not write this down, but it was in the South. I do remember this. Look up Highway 61 and Highway 49, anyone, if you want to know where this was exactly. But anyway, old-timey South, basically, like fucking roads in the middle of nowhere. That's where he went and made his pact with the devil. People think that this crossroads is now like haunted. So like, but like in a good way. It's this is difficult to explain. People think that like if you go there, it's easier for you to contact the devil and make a pact yourself. But I mean, to me, that reads as like, okay, so definitely do not step foot there. But like, if you're Shannon, you probably say something like, "Ooh, that's my next road trip stop." So it depends on who you are. It depends on who you are whether you think it's a good or a bad place. But anyway, the song Crossroads that Robert has lyrics in it that say, "Going up to Rosedale, got my rider by my side," and people interpret that as the rider being the devil. Rosedale is the city that he visited immediately after being in Clarksdale for that deal that he made at the crossroads in Clarksdale. So people are like, after he made the deal, like the devil rode with him in his bike, and I don't know. I mean, listen, it's not a great story. I just think what's really interesting to me isn't the story itself, but just how much it spread. This is actually a pretty popular story, and it's still told in this area to this day, and people to this day still think that Robert Johnson, that's now long dead, didn't make a deal with the devil because he was so good after leaving for some time. To me, what's really interesting is like, okay, how did people get to this conclusion? I know this isn't very spooky, but like, I mean, could the guy have just left and practiced a bunch and then came back and, maybe he channeled his grief over his dead wife and child into practicing the guitar? I don't know. I just think it's kind of silly that people came to this conclusion. However, I do have a different case that is a little more convincing. And also just, I want to say now, I don't think the idea of making a deal with the devil is completely implausible. I just we've spoken about witches before, and we've spoken about curses, and to me those are all kind of in the same vein. Like, I feel like, I don't know. I think that, actually, I'm just gonna focus on witches for a sec. Like, I think that if witches are real and they can really, make the magic that they do, that power must be drawn from somewhere, and it's probably from somewhere evil. Ergo, the devil must be real. And if the devil's real, how hard could it be to conjure him up? If you, especially if you want to give him something as valuable as your soul, if you're willing to give that up just willingly, like, how is he not gonna come to your house at 3 a.m.? You know what I mean? He's interested. He's buying and you're selling. So
can we just have a sidebar and talk about what possible value your soul can have on a planet of like 8 billion people? Like,
I mean, listen, your rotten soul, none.
Oh my
Puritan soul.
Do you really want to burn that bridge? Is this where it happens?
No, I mean, should I be serious about this or not? I mean, I guess if you're serious, I don't know what value the devil finds in. I think when you have someone's soul, you kind of own them for the rest of eternity, especially if you believe that there's like an afterlife. So if the devil owns that soul, obviously he's going to take it to hell because he gets off by torturing souls. And so I guess the value is in just owning you basically for the rest of eternity. And because you and your stupid mortal mind like don't realize that like eternity is a really long time and you're only thinking about your mortal life right now, you're like, yeah, I'll trade off all of eternity, which sounds like such a nebulous concept in your head. You're like, I'll trade all of eternity for $1 million, and like, you know what I mean?
At a Klondike bar.
Like, humans don't have that kind of eternal like foresight. That's just way too long of a time to think about. So they're like, yeah, exactly. That's a good example. So I think that's what it is. I think it's very valuable, but we probably don't get that because we don't have that foresight to think like, oh, eternity is a really long time. But it is.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I see what you're saying. All right, proceed.
Yeah. Okay. So, there was this musician, in the 18th century. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the one that I believe more. This one's better. There was this guy. His name was Johann Faustin, and this is a real person whose story or like life has been turned into this is complicated. Like his name was taken and put into kind of like a fable about selling your soul. However, it is not confirmed that him, the real one in his real life, sold his soul because of course this is not confirmed. But what I'm saying is people were suspicious that he had done this in real life back in the day, back in the olden day. This is in the 16th century. But then the fable was created and popularized in Europe at that time, and so that kind of just people conflated the real Johann with the fake Johann, and they were like, oh, like public opinion trial. They were like, he for sure sold his soul. Listen to this fable. And so it just, anyway, it all kind of conflated into people thinking it really happened. Who knows? Maybe it really did. Anyway, this guy, his name was Johann Spies. He was a philosopher. This is in the 16th century, late 16th century, in the 1580s. This guy, people say that he sold his soul because he was a philosopher and he was an erudite, and he was apparently really bored and depressed with his life. And even though he knew so much, he didn't actually have very much. He was quoted as saying something along the lines of, "I want to have more than just earthly meat and wine." Which, listen, that sounds good to me. But apparently he wanted more, and so one night he said, "Devil, please give me more, and you can then have my soul." So he was keenly aware that what he was giving away was his soul, and he still was okay with that. So he used a book apparently of spells to conjure up the devil, and then entered in a pact with him, pledging his soul in exchange for 24 years of service. And the devil then gave him a poodle and also an apprentice to kind of accompany him through his life. Again, this is a fable that I'm talking about, clearly. And for the next 24 years, that's what they did. The poodle and his apprentice, Johann's apprentice, just kind of joined him for his adventures, and he had plenty. He visited the Pope in Rome. He visited the Sultan in Constantinople and the Kaiser in Innsbruck. And after 16 years, he began to regret his pact and wanted to withdraw. But the devil persuaded him to renew the pact. I don't know exactly how that works. I guess there's a time limit on the contract and you have to renew. I don't know. Satan really loves bureaucracy, which makes sense. He is Satan.
I'm getting total phone plan vibes from this, like the contracts and of course your phone costs $2,000 if you read the fine print. Come on.
Yeah, we all know Satan invented phone companies, so it makes sense. But after 16 years, he made him renew his phone plan, and then come the 24 years, Satan appeared and announced Faust's death. Again, his name's Johann Faust, in case you're not understanding what I'm saying, because that's a tough last name. Announced Faust's death for the coming night. Johann then held the Last Supper the next day with all of his friends and repented and asked for forgiveness, but it didn't work because apparently that night at midnight there was a great noise coming from Johann's room, and in the morning its walls and floors were found splattered with blood and brains, with Johann's eyes lying on the floor and his dead body in the courtyard. So there's that. Lesson learned.
That's pretty grisly.
Yes, and the reason I call this one more believable is just because, I'm not sure exactly why now that I've reread it, but listen, what I thought at the time was, like I said, I don't think a pact with the devil is implausible, and just the fact that this got so much attention at the time, and that according to the fable, which according to whoever wrote the fable is based on actual things that happened, since according to the fable there were body parts splattered across his room the next day, that they heard a weird noise in his room, and then he was never seen again. I just come to think, like, maybe it happened. Like, shit, maybe it fucking happened. Maybe this guy sold his soul to the devil, and the devil killed him. Like, I mean, how else did he explode? Was he doing, like, weird chemistry in his room? I don't know if they mentioned any flasks or anything, but it just sounds unlikely. He wasn't a chemist.
Andre,
I don't know.
I just imagine you being, like, on a jury, like, serving in a jury, and wow. Be great.
No, that's how I never get put in a jury, because I want, everyone wants to avoid jury duty. I'll just go in with a tinfoil hat, not even a tinfoil hat, just my regular clothes, and I'll just go in and say, listen, pacts with the devil, am I right? And then they're like, dismissed.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, it's like, I'm not saying I believe the devil did it, but did we rule that out? This reminds me of Dr. Faustus. Did you ever read that? It's a play.
No. Is it based on this?
No, it's a pretty common like play / literature that people read. I actually read Dr. Faustus in my witchcraft class, but essentially it's kind of what you said, only a little bit less grisly. It's about this doctor who makes a deal with a devil, like a demon, for, like, knowledge and power and all this stuff. And it's quite disturbing. And of course he realizes too late, like, eternity's a long time. So I think that that's really what I find intriguing most about this, is how, like, stupid us humans are, like me included. Like, obviously, like, I'm the type to be like, well, is that real? Like, are you, like, really, you're gonna come collect my soul? Like, that's real funny. That's cute. And then it happens and you're like, shit, like, why didn't you tell me? And it's like, well, actually, there goes my microphone.
I know. Also, I'm pretty sure that the Dr. Faustus thing is based off of this. I think I am. That sounds like it is.
It
yes,
might
for
be.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw that on some of the annotations on the Wikipedia article. I'm pretty sure I saw the word doctor at some point, so it's got to be related.
Okay.
But I think there was definitely another version of the fable that is mentioned in the article that talks about how, like, the ending is different. Like, the devil... No, wait, what is it? Oh, he like, repents before the devil comes, and it works. So, when the devil comes to kill him, like, he goes to heaven.
Interesting.
Which, okay. I think that was just, like, I don't know, like, I think the fable existed, and then, you know how there are, like, different periods in, like European literature, like, there's, like the classical and then the romantic. Like, I think someone in a different period took this fable and was like, let's make it pretty because this makes me sad, and then they changed the ending. Like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah. Did the devil do it? Maybe. Did the poodle do it? Who knows? We'll never know.
I feel like I have to also mention the first one that you had talked about with the crossroads. That I had already learned from an episode of Supernatural. I know, don't come for me. I haven't watched it since season 8. And I have a lot of regrets. But yeah, no, they talk a lot about stuff like that. So, education-wise, sometimes it's an okay show.
Okay, well, good to know.
Yeah, and so I guess I'll jump back into some conspiracy theories if you'd like.
Yeah, but before that, Shannon, let me just make a quick note. I missed this note on my background. You're going to find this super interesting.
Oh.
Remember the Maleus Maleficarum?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, remember that girl? Okay. So apparently that book discusses several instances of pacts with the devil, especially concerning women. You may have already mentioned this in the episode that we talked about it, but I just thought it was super interesting that it was mentioned in the Pacts with the Devil article. It was considered that all witches and warlocks had made a pact with one of the demons, usually Satan, and that they had used the Maleus Maleficarum to do so. So apparently this book was big at the time for that purpose. Very useful book. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, one of the things that they would do once they made a pact with the demon. It was like a little tiny creature, like that's the form it would take. And they said that if the woman had made a deal, you would see a mark on her body because she would like suckle it and give it her blood. Like, real nasty stuff. So if we're done talking about
go ahead.
really nasty stuff, I am gonna bring up Miley Cyrus towards the end of this episode once more, but I think that we need a break from her. So I'm gonna talk about a conspiracy I didn't actually know about until I started doing research, and I was like, holy shit, how are we not talking about this? Okay, I don't know if you know about this either, but here's the theory. Lady Gaga was murdered, so another pop star actually stole her identity. Okay, are you ready for this? So an aspiring pop singer named Lena Morgana died by suicide in 2008 at 19 years old. Shortly after, Lady Gaga, whom Morgana had been collaborating with at Sony, suddenly began to rise to fame, and her look and sound was strikingly similar to Morgana's. So here's...
Oh my god, I heard about this like years ago.
Really?
Yeah, I remember now. Go ahead, go ahead. Yeah.
So the theory is that Lady Gaga killed Lena Morgana to steal her persona, and this was apparently due to ties with the Illuminati and a ritual killing. So it's pretty dark. It's a dark theory. I also feel like probably not. I feel like and they do kind of implicate a Sony producer, Rob Fusari, in this, and I'm not really sure what the details are. But I think just because knowing Lady Gaga's, like, history, and, like, obviously I'm not, like, a huge Lady Gaga stan, but I know that, like, she was an actual, like, singer and, like, wasn't all, like,
everyone...
Huh?
Shannon didn't mean that. Please go stream Stupid Love now out on Apple Music and every other music listening platform. Thank you.
Sometimes I wonder who is sponsoring you to say these things. Who is communicating with Andre? This is the real reason I'm leaving. What I was saying is Lady Gaga was actually like a struggling artist, you know, like she worked hard, she paid her dues, and like her persona is pretty like wild and weird, but it's that way for a reason. So I feel like it's a little bit mean to be like, yeah, Lady Gaga straight up killed someone in a satanic Illuminati ritual and stole her whole look.
I mean, listen, two things can be true at the same time, right? She could have killed Morgana, Princess Leia, I guess, and also have a very extravagant personality. Oh wait, that was Organa. Never mind. Anyway, she killed Morgan. Now, okay, when you were talking about this, I remembered that when I first learned about this theory, the theory mentioned that in the video for Paparazzi, Lady Gaga gets thrown off a balcony to her death. She gets pushed off a balcony, and people theorize that was Lady Gaga portraying how she killed Morgana. So
wow. Okay.
Just saying. Yeah, just saying. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's dark. While we continue to talk about Satan, I've got a really dumb one, which I thought was pretty dumb. I guess doesn't say anything. But here it is. I'm sure you've already seen this. Taylor Swift is actually a Satanist. Zena LaVey.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Right. Wait, do we actually believe that, or have you just heard of it?
No, I've heard of it. I don't believe that,
Okay.
but I believe something that's not like less worse than that, which is that apparently she uses 4chan a lot and she's done some pretty shitty things. But anyway.
Okay. Well, all right. So Zena LaVey was born in 1953. And I guess the best theory for why this is true is that she was born at around 1990 like hours, and Taylor Swift was born in 1989. The other thing is they look exactly the same, although you have to realize the photograph of Xena is when she was closer to Taylor's age. You know, I think that it's hilarious because I'm not really a Taylor Swift fan. I listen to her music sometimes, but like there's not really a part of me that's like, oh my god, I love Taylor. You know what I mean? Like that's not a thing. So it just it really strikes me as
God, what
funny.
is it with you, Shannon? Again, everyone, the comments of Shannon do not represent the comments of the Scary Talk podcast. Everyone, please go stream Lover now out on Apple
Oh
Music and
my
all
God.
music listening platforms. Thank you.
I'm just saying, look, she has a lot of snake imagery in her platform, in her music videos. She loves cats. Everyone knows cats are the devil. I also love cats. Totally
Don't you
unrelated.
like cats?
I love cats. I think they're amazing, and I want to kiss their little faces.
Well, but you are a real Satanist, so I guess it's not
Oh
weird.
my
Yeah,
God!
never mind.
Don't say that. Just because Zozo's been up my ass since 2018 doesn't mean anything.
I guess that's true. You can still resist it. I mean, wait, you said something before. Just go ahead. Go ahead. I want to listen to this.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of over the Taylor Swift thing because obviously it's not true. Taylor is not 70 years old. Like that's not happening.
Oh, I was gonna say the snake imagery is because of the Kardashian feud she had back in 2016, 2015, that then led to Reputation in 2017, which had all that snake imagery because all of Kim's fans tweeted snake emojis at Taylor for a year straight because they thought she was a snake, and so then she repurposed that for her album. So
Right,
duh.
but how do you know that's just not something Xena LeVay wants you to believe?
Good point. We don't know that, so that must be true.
All of this is connected. Once we get into the Illuminati stuff, everything is a conspiracy and nothing makes sense. So I want to talk about this really weird, bizarre one, which, I can't say for certain what I believe because I was a child when I saw this movie and I loved this movie. And it was pretty convincing. The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. So, in The Parent Trap, Lindsay Lohan portrays twins who are obviously trying to get their parents back together. So here is the theory that wasn't actually just Lindsay Lohan, that Lindsay Lohan actually does have a twin. And both twins starred in this film, but after filming, her sister died and Disney covered it up by saying Lindsay played both roles in the movie and the people went along with it. And that is why Lindsay Lohan turned to drugs and alcohol and has never been the same.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's definitely not because she has a controlling mother and father and was never raised by them, paid attention to, or given freedom to express herself as a teen. It was because her twin died, and we all know that, and it's time to accept that. So thank you for bringing that to light, Shannon.
Oh my gosh! The amount of savagery and sarcasm happening right now is just truly, truly amazing. No,
Honestly, Dina Lohan, we don't stand, okay?
Really?
Listen, not the best mom. Not here to mom shame, but just saying, boy, fuck. Anyway.
I'm not fully educated on Lindsay Lohan's life. I do think this one was pretty dumb, though, because, why would you cover that up? I feel like that's not... I don't think that would have affected movie sales, for one, so, why would that matter? And obviously...
Lindsay, I mean... I said Lindsay. I mean, Shannon, why aren't you fully invested in Lindsay Lohan's life? Again, Shannon's comments do not reflect the stances of the Scary Talk podcast. Everyone, please go stream Lindsay Lohan's And This Is
Andre,
True.
this is
New
why
single, Back to Me.
This is why we didn't do a pop culture podcast, okay? This is why. All right?
And I really wanted to.
Well, you're going to have to do it with someone who knows
I guess you can't have it all.
Gonna have to do it with someone who's more educated on these things.
Fair.
Do you have anything more you want to talk about, or should we get into my other Miley thing?
Before you get into that, I guess I should say, everyone, official starting right now, this podcast will be turning into a pop culture podcast. It will be called Pop Talk, starting May 21st, with co-host myself, because I'm the only person that knows as much about this as anyone can, and so I will be my own co-host. If you want to listen, just, fucking stay subscribed, I guess. So that will be coming soon. Be very excited. Yay!
That was nice. That was a nice plug.
We'll only talk about Britney Spears and Lorde being a 40-year-old woman disguising herself as a 20-year-old. That's all we're going to talk about.
I saw the Lorde being a 40-year-old woman thing so many times, and I was like, why can't we just accept that Lorde is actually talented? Why is that so difficult?
Because no young person is talented. She's obviously old and wise. So
Billie Eilish, 17, amazing album. Well, I think she's
Billie
older now.
Eilish is 29. So
What? All right. Well, I guess I've never seen her birth certificate, so I cannot confirm nor deny.
exactly, bad guy, more like old guy. Am I right?
Oh my god. So, I would like to talk about the lizard people in Hollywood. There's no basis for reality in this. There's no basis in research. This all just boils back down to the Illuminati and the fact that for some reason there's just this overwhelming amount of people on this planet that believe that lizards are really just everywhere, in our governments, in Hollywood. And I think that there's a show about this, actually. It's called, like, V. Is it called V? I don't know what it's called.
Shannon, lizards ruled the planet for millions of years. Hello, dinosaurs? So who's to say they're not ruling it now?
Right, but, like, why would they feel compelled to dress as humans? Why can't they just live freely as lizards?
Because they have to fit in. If they were still showing themselves as giant lizards, people would go, oh, this is scary. I'm gonna go poopy in my pants. So they have to hide.
That doesn't mean anything. If we raise the next generation of children in a world where bipedal lizards and humans just interact on a daily basis, that'll just be normal for them. Hello, anthropology.
I know, but that's racism for you right there.
Oh my god, wow. And our podcast is changing once again. I don't know if anyone has seen the video. I've seen the video. I'm sure Andre's seen the video of Miley Cyrus in an interview, and her eyes go like slit yellow like a lizard's for like a couple seconds while she blinks.
Oh my god, yes! Yes, I saw that. It's so fake. But also, it may be real.
That's exactly how our conspiracy episodes go. It's fake, but
That's
probably
this
not.
podcast in a nutshell.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I tried to find that video, but my internet's doing a weird thing. The point is, like, I am not a graphics expert, so who am I to rule it out? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe Miley Cyrus is a lizard. Maybe Justin Bieber's a lizard. Maybe they're all lizards. What do lizards do exactly? They sit on rocks and they soak up the sun and they eat bugs, right?
Yeah, they suck up. They eat flies. They smell kind of gross. Now, listen, I made the Miley Cyrus Illuminati eye edit and uploaded that video. It is mine. I am a graphic design expert. But who's to say she's not a lizard, you know?
I have never been close to Miley Cyrus. I don't know, like, if you, like, try and pull away at her skin, if it'll, like, be very clearly a costume. I don't know.
I think so. I think she's wearing a silicone mask. I think so. I think, yeah.
But then
dinosaur, straight up.
That calls into question Billy Ray Cyrus. Is he in on it? Is he also a lizard? What's happening in Hollywood?
Yeah, no, he's her lizard daddy for sure. Also, the song Can Be Tamed. It's about how you can tame a lizard because they're not domesticated animals. Duh.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that's what I've got for you. That's what I've got for you today, Andre. I hope that it lived up to the expectation. I don't know what expectations you had, if I'm being totally honest, but...
Well, it's not about my expectations, but the expectations of the public, the audience. Did it live up to their expectations? Probably not, but that's okay. They still love us. Now, I know you don't want to talk about this, but I want to talk about this, okay? No, I don't have more deal with the devil shit. Listen, I had another case. It was about Oliver Cromwell. He was this general back in the 1600s, and about how he sold his soul to the devil to win a decisive battle in the English Civil War. But that's boring, and that's basically the whole premise of it. There you go. Did he do it? Who knows? Maybe. What I really want to talk about is Lord's eternal youth, question mark. Listen. Listen, okay? Listen closely. There's this theory out there. I'm getting fully into conspiracy theories about celebrities with you here now. So
Okay.
There's this theory that Lorde, 20-year-old Lorde, is she 20 now? I think she's 22. Whatever. 20-something-year-old Lorde, young Lorde, is actually so emotionally intelligent and has such a vested interest in grammar that she's actually 40. There's no way she could be 20-something, so she's actually a 40-year-old woman who faked her age to sell herself and her music and sell her image of, like, this young prodigy.
So it's kind of like that
proof,
movie, The Orphan.
No, she was just pretending to be young so she could like fuck the dad and then kill the rest of the family. So a little different, but yeah. Apparently, Lord shared a birth certificate at one point in her Instagram that looked pretty doctored. So
What?
people speculate that it's fake, and the reason it's fake is because she doctored it because she doesn't want people to know she's actually 40. So, just saying, that's proof to me, and that's the tea on that.
She's not 40. There's no way.
I mean, have you listened to her lyrics? They're so good. Like, we're fucking stupid. We couldn't write that.
Oh
So
my
obviously she
God.
can't either.
Oh,
Are we
my
jealous? No. She's just 40.
I just think that it's a little, because I like know 40-year-olds, and I can't with certainty say that there is like a correlation between age and intelligence. I just can't confirm that. You know what I mean? Like,
Now, listen, in all seriousness, I am the smartest person I've ever met, but, and also very humble. But can we say that Lord is not an octogenarian? We can't. Do you have proof? Have you seen her in the same room with an old person? You haven't. Therefore, anyway, so Stevie Wonder can see it. He's not blind. Here we go.
that one, I was not even going to touch that. I'm like, what the hell? Where are people coming up with these conspiracy theories, and why? There's some weird ones out there, for sure.
Did you look at the Esquire article this was included on? Because that's where I'm getting it from, and I thought they wrote this beautifully.
There's like random ones too about Elvis, still being alive, Michael Jackson not being dead, like just really like random. Like I always wonder where those come from. Like, is it because people can't part with them, like they just have to believe that they're still alive, or is there just like a conspiracy to keep celebrities alive, but like they have to end their career somehow, so they think death is the best way? I don't know.
It's because celebrities don't die. Duh. I mean, they're celebrities.
I mean,
they have
Keanu.
money, so they don't die. Exactly. Keanu is 113 years old. He's not gonna die anytime soon, and he also looks pretty good.
God, Keanu's attractive.
Cher's 1,046 years old, and she's still kicking.
1,000?
So I'm just saying. Now, apparently, this is another theory I want to touch on. Like I said, I did research a couple just because I thought they were cool. Stevie Wonder is not blind, everyone. The legendary blind singer-songwriter Stevie Wonder, not blind, a fucking con artist. So apparently, he's just been pretending for the last 6 decades for some reason, and that reason is not sure, but here's the proof.
Oh my God.
Apparently, he frequently attends basketball games, and once he caught a falling mic stand. This is according to this article that I'm reading that is obviously true. And he is interested in photography, and once took a photo. He took a photo once. Hello. And he does other things typically reserved for people who can't see. What are those things? I don't know. This Esquire article does not go into depth about that, but clearly this guy is a fucking con artist. So, thoughts?
I mean, I'm glad that this was like clearly well researched before you brought it up, and not something you're reading right now.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely phenomenal. I think that you're bringing up some amazing points, Andre.
Thank you. And that's our episode, everyone.
This is the quality content that you signed up for 60 episodes. I hope you're not reevaluating your entire life choices in this moment. Lord is 40.
Yeah, and if you're sad that this is ending, just go back and listen to all the episodes. Just like marathon them, just 60 hours of straight pure content. Your brain will melt, but it will be worth it. Yeah, I mean, no, that is what we have. Anything you want to leave the audience with on this special day, Shannon?
On this special day, unlike any other day, in which case it's fully like every other day, I just want to say thank you to all of the people who listened to us for whatever reason. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking. I don't know what you were smoking while you were doing it, but I hope it was enjoyable. And truly, don't kill me. I've made a lot of jokes in the past, but don't come for me. Don't come for Andre either. We all know he's actually made of titanium. And I think we should talk
Yeah,
about...
well, no, I thought you were gonna say he's actually made of paper and he's scared of everything, so don't comfort him. But
We should talk about the one conspiracy theory that we've all been wondering this entire time. Have Andre and I ever actually met in real life, or was I just a Craigslist posting, and he responded to it? Andre, do you want to address that?
no, we have never met. Shannon lives in Finland. She's a 42-year-old woman that I met online. Back when I thought I was straight, I was swiping for 40-year-old
Oh
singles
my
in Finland
God.
because, I like the faraway lands and I like the cold weather. So, before my homosexual transition, I did swipe right on Shannon and she swiped right on me. We started talking. I didn't understand her very much at first, but then I perfected my Finnish and then she perfected her English. I taught her an American accent and then we started recording a podcast. So
I honestly,
that's that story.
I feel so much better now that we've gotten that off of our chest, because I think that it's something that was
agree.
going around in the Scary Talk community for a while, and we just had to confirm or deny. And you know what? I confirm it. This is all true. And you know
Yep.
what? I have no regrets. I think that we did a good thing together, Andre.
I confirm it too. This is the truth. This is my truth. I now feel light as air now that this is not on my shoulders any longer, and I am just so happy that that's out there. So everyone, I hope your curiosity is satiated, and I hope you like this episode. In all seriousness, Shannon, we are going to miss you very much. I'm sure everyone listening, and also everyone that texted me about this, which very, very sweet of all of you, are going to miss you very much. And I'm going to miss you very much on these airwaves as well. Whatever happens with the podcast, which, by the way, I'll keep you all posted on that. But whatever happens with it, I will miss you as my co-host. This has been a really fun ride. 60 episodes is nothing to laugh at, and thank you for everything. I love you, chica. So thank you.
Oh, Andre, that's so sweet. You ruined what we had going here.
I know. I totally. This is so sentimental. Poop titties. There you go.
We rode on the back of Mothman, holding on to each wing, holding hands. This is Scary Talk, and it's the end of the Shannon era, which, that's okay. We all take our paths and we do our best along the way. And
Yeah, it's okay, and different things will come. Like the Shannon era is kind of like the Jurassic period, but then there was another one after that. The
I have
post
no
Jurassic
idea.
period, and
Right.
that's what we're looking forward to.
Oh man. Well, it's been fun. It's been educational at times, and I think that we accomplished what we had set out to do. So, that's all, folks. Thank you very much for listening, and I will not see you next time.
No, but I will, and I might force Shannon to come back for a guest episode at some point in the future. I do have a lot of information on her, and I can blackmail her very easily, so that will definitely be happening in about a year or so. We'll see if this does continue indeed. And as far as myself, what I always say, no large feels before bedtime. The Mothman is real, and he is watching you. Everyone that you know in your life is gay, and I will... see you when I see you? ? Ooh, mysterious. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.